One of the most disheartening things that I come across is when I'm thinking that I'm having a productive, fruitful conversation with someone. Um, then, after so many verses, after so much exegesis of the text and giving them scripture and prophecy to try to help their understanding that, yes, as Israelites, it is part of Yah's restoration that we remember ourselves and that we return back to covenant. So, us identifying that we are Israelites is not a doctrine of identity and pridefulness, but it is quite literally the manifestation of prophecy being fulfilled actively in time. And after giving Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Deuteronomy, and even conversations and the foretelling of the deeper of a scattering, Yahusha spoke out of his own mouth in Luke, they'll still say, no, that's not the gospel, and anything that's outside of just the death, burial, and resurrection is demonic. And it's just like, well, Yahusha the Messiah said that I came to preach the good news and that I have been anointed to set the captives free, etc., etc., that this is the good news, is to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahuwah. He wasn't preaching a gospel that rested on his death, burial, and resurrection. And yet, part of the good news is that we would remember ourselves and that we would be set free from the lies and the delusions and the false systems, that we would return and that we'd be gathered together again. And so I think it's very disingenuous when, specifically, I'm talking about Christians because y'all are the main ones, that when you do come across someone who knows their identity as Israel, is willing to have a conversation with you with humility, it comes to find out that you had all this long conversation with me just to revert back and ignore all the scripture and all the prophetic words and the words that proceeded out of Yahuwah's own mouth, to just stay on the same point that you were making and still try to basically not dismantle, but it's very disingenuous that you will choose to ignore every confirmation in the word, in the Bible, that you say you believe, out of the, just to try to say that it doesn't matter that we're remembering our identity. That is very disingenuous and it's nasty behavior. And so I really, really pray that if you are actually trying to have a conversation with someone and they are quite literally willing to send you scriptures and for you to just come back with one verse out of context, it's always Paul, it's always Paul, to say that all the things that Yah has spoken through his prophets and through Torah and even through Yahusha's own mouth, you're trying to say that that doesn't matter anymore. So you don't actually believe the restoration of the new covenant is what you're really saying. But there's a knowledge